Another close call, another would have. Another one we've narrowly avoided. How long can we keep this up? We're bound to break at one point. No normal human being with a sane mind can last like this. The miracle Isabella hasn't cracked yet. After all, she was the one who found that letter. I've expected her to have caved in by now, yet her voice, calm and composed in the face of this, is what cuts through the thick air.
I'll go get a cold compress for that arm. You guys take a seat first. Ashton and I, we have a lot of things to talk about.
That marks the end of it. At least for the time being. And as soon as Isabella returns and hands Rebecca the cold compress she promised, we get straight down to business. Surprisingly easy, considering the rigid air in the room. Although there's some tense fumbling for words at first, the whole conversation gains steam once what happened last night at BRC has been put on the table. All at once, everything we've brushed off, carelessly ignored, and rudely dismissed have been laid out for close scrutiny. Zach's encounters with the woman and his dreams, Rebecca's close brushes with death every time she appears. The dread, fear, the terror she brings out even in the bravest of them. Everything. Because no matter how bleak this all seems, there must still be a way out of this. There has to be. Logic be damned. Or at least, that's what Isabella and I would like to believe. Yet, even as the cold morning light shifts the warm hues of late afternoon and eventually night, none of this still makes a fucking damn sense. Darkness has fallen, but we're still nowhere near figuring things out. If anything, we're more at a loss than we've ever been before we even started this. Next thing I know, frustration rears its ugly head and the sheets of paper I've been holding smacks the table harder than I've intended. The sound of it echoes loudly in the small room and everyone simply falls silent. Along with it is a release of another long-held breath. Perhaps the 100th since this morning.
We aren't getting anywhere at this rate.
Don't just drop it! There must be something in this we aren't seeing yet.
It's an odd thing to hear from her. The very words I've been telling myself every single time I find myself facing a dead end. You can use a little of the optimism right now, I guess.
I know, but what are we supposed to be looking at here in the first place?
Well, we already looked through those files. You're the one that picked it out last night, right?
All of them? I'm pretty sure every person we've checked in there isn't necessarily involved. One client possibly died of old age. Remember, you found that dumb paper.
Not so dumb if it can kill all of us.
Very funny, Z-Man. Anyway, like I said, you discovered that paper right before the open house. No one else was allowed inside during that time. It's too broad of a scope if we include every single person. In fact, the only notable ones are C and Jean Marie.
Was Jean Marie. But if you're going to include them in the count, shouldn't there have been more than enough people to end this fucking curse already? How does this thing even work?
Yeah, okay, they went in and out of this place. But no, you still don't get it. What I'm trying to say about those clients is...
Maybe there's more than one of it.
Possibly.
Even my friend, the priest from the cathedral. He's been acting strangely. There might be more than one of that paper going around that we don't know about. More to this. I mean, look at all this stuff Rebecca brought with her. Apparently our teachers have been lying to us all these years. So who knows?
Hey, now don't blame us. Blame the bloody books they wrote.
Quietly, Isabella reaches for one of the papers Rebecca's brought with her and carefully inspects the words printed on the page. A copy of an old newsprint from even before the city has been founded. Her eyes narrows with each line it passes, but lingers at the illustration of the noblewoman's servant.
Why do they have to keep this in the restricted section?
Rebecca merely shrugs at her inquiry. Her own annoyance seeps through her answer.
How should I know? I wasn't even aware we have archives that go as far back as this. This is before the city was even founded. As a matter of fact, if it weren't for Andrew's help, I wouldn't have gotten my hands on any of it. Maybe they didn't think it would be important to talk about it. After all, this is more Anselm's than ours.
That or some old bugger's hiding something.
Why else would these tell a completely different story? Revising what's written seems a useless endeavor on its own when you have nothing to gain from it. Thanks to those, we're also missing a lot of things here. All we have to go with is the mansion, the letter, and all the stuff selfish people have been keeping from the public. But what else? Somehow, even with all this information in hand, it still feels like there's something we're overlooking. Present, everything seems to point to where this all started. The Ermengarde mansion. Will bringing the letter back there fix everything? Fuck. How do I? The mansion's a private property now. Can't just waltz in there. I'd rather die before I even think of begging Wright to let me in and investigate the place. One thing's very clear after these last 2 days, however. We're not safe anywhere, and I have to act fast if I want to keep my own friends alive. We can't keep running away. Sooner or later, she'll get us. Before that happens, I have to put an end to this. Sighing, I stand up and stretch out the kinks in my back after several hours of sitting. We've been at this for too long. Break is needed. Time to let everything to sink in, or else we'll all burn out. I know I will, and it's another thing I cannot let happen when they're all counting on me like this. I'll be unspoken in their eyes as they look up at me waiting.
We've been at this since morning. We should take a break for a few.
The rest of it never makes it out of my mouth as something heavy and grating sounds from the far end of the room. A harsh, booming noise rending through the eardrums of everyone in the room. All at once, the three of them are on their feet, while I quickly palm for my gun on the table. However, before I can pull it up and remove the safety, the whole racket stops. Stillness descends in the room, and amidst sudden hush, four of us exchange anxious glances. So much for a break.
Ashton, that might be...
Gather everything.
No questions asked. We waste no time getting to work, piling up the documents we've been reading through. Even Isabella's unusually silent as she gathers everything in her arms, her own movements sharp and precise, a deep furrow in her brow. There's fear, but something hardened and urgent overshadows it. But the moment doesn't last. Before we can even finish, another noise ups the tension already gripping the place. Suddenly the lights go out. The wardrobe at the end of the room rattles, as if something inside begs for freedom. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Hey, Tite, GC, if you... Oh, so you hear me. Okay. Stream. Ayun, setting. Voice and video. Tapos nakalagay input-output, di ba? Yo. Anyway, ilipat ko sa stream. Tingnan mo kung maririnig mo rin yung stream. Do you hear the stream? Hey, Bulbul, if you hear the stream. Bakit may kabayo? Hindi yung kabayo, it's the ghost making a sound. Suddenly the lights go out and the wardrobe at the end of the room rattles. If something inside begs for freedom. Cautiously, eyes glued to it, I take a step forward and I release the lock on my gun. I'm no trigger-happy person. I'm not even sure if this will work on a ghost. But right now, it's smooth surface against my palm. The trigger on my finger provides the closest thing I have to relieve as I approach the closet.
Ashton, what are you doing?
I don't think that's a good idea. We should just...
Worried as they all are, they immediately stop at the slight raise of my hand. The edge is there while they all huddle, the space between the door and the room. In case this goes south, whatever I find inside, they have enough time and space to run from their position. In 2 deep breaths, I've crossed the room and stood in front of the closet. Whatever's inside has yet to stop crashing. Ted has now moved to banging the door, louder and louder the longer I doubt. Another shallow...
Can you hear me?
Oh yes, I can hear you now.
Nice.
Ano nangyari? Na yung settings?
Ay, sa ano mismo? Doon sa mismong saksakan ng mic.
Oh, okay. I glance at my companions. Kung ako'y nandito, sa posisyon ni Ash, hindi ko nagagawin ito, hindi ko nabubuksan. Aalis na lang. Let's just leave the room. Forget anything ever happens. You know? Wait lang pala. Salita ka nga ulit.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Good.
Okay.
Yes. Naririnig ka naman sa disc. Sa ano? Obvious. Not. Something creaks. Then, in the next moment, I'm grasping at the handles and swinging the doors wide open to reveal John Cena. Nothing. Hey, look at that. Puro mga sleeveless and
May t-shirt pala. Mga ano siguro, mga cardigan. Tsaka mga ano, convention. Nakasampay. Pero siguro sa buong tropa natin, si Justin lang siguro yung maglalakas loob na buksan niya.
Siguro.
Ako, I'm sure I won't open it.
Oh, I won't, bro. Unang rinig ko pa lang nung ganun. Nasa labas na ako, bro. Pagtingin nyo pa lang doon. Pagtingin nyo ulit balik sa akin, wala na. Nasa labas na ako. Hey guys, I'm waiting for you.
Ako siguro I would stop, I would pause, tapos gagawin yun. Tapos pag na-distinguish ko na kung saan, aalis na ako. Shit, doon yun, lalayo na ako dyan.
Babatoy ng ano. Batoy mo ng tsinelas. Ayun. Ano may ano po? Narinig mo ba yung heartbeat sound?
Meron.
Nice effect. Right away, I part the clothes hanging on it and still none. No ghost. No woman. Not a single trace of whoever's inside. Confused, I glance back towards my companions, only to see them mirroring the same expression on my face. The noise has finally stopped, but I'm quite sure it isn't my imagination. Of course not, because all like 4 of you heard it. Diba?
Yeah.
Or maybe it is, and I'm just too strung up that my head's now making things up. Whatever the case is, we need to get out of here as soon as possible. This only confirms we aren't safe anywhere. Without bothering to close it, I move back, ready to leave, adrenaline now coursing through every vein in my body. The next second, I'm barking orders and...
We should go. Everyone, we need to... Ah!
I'm spent sprawling on my back as something cold snatches my ankle and yanks.
Snatches kaya.
Ano ba sabi?
Sabi mo snatches.
Snatches daw, ano ka? The resulting fall knocks the wind out of me. Pain racks my whole spine and the back of my head as it collides against the floor. Tama ako. Sila yung mali. Against the floor. With force enough to dislodge my own brain from my skull. Dapat knock-out ka na nun kung ganun. That's concussion right there.
Oh, bago concussion.
Oof. A moment lasts before stars fade from my vision. And then, I sense it. Old tendrils twisting around my ankles, the smell of vile rot halting my nose, nauseating, thickening. Foul smell draining every feeling in my body. The moment her horrid laughter, still as unpleasant and vicious as the last time I've heard it, reaches my ears, my eyes snap open. Oh, she looks more creepy here, under the bed. Ito pa, yun ba sabi mo, si Tin yung maglalakas loob, buksan yung yung closet. Pag nangyari din ito sa kanya, well, I'm sorry, Tin. I guess this is the end for you. You know, you've been a good friend. We enjoyed, our time together, but this is the end. I'm sorry.
We loved your one-liners, but I guess this is the end of our friendship. We shall miss you.
Bro, babalitaan na lang namin ang pamilya mo na tumanaw ka. It's over for you. Perhaps it's just an experience. Or maybe my mind's still attempting to comprehend this. Regardless, the minute my eyes land on her, the whole of my body freezes. The gun in my hand turns useless as my grip on it slackens. It's in the manner her gaze bores on me, I'll say, the look of utter hatred and malice. I've seen it loads of times. From suspects, mostly murderers, who never regretted their actions despite being caught. This is the face of someone you can no longer reason with. And I know, the moment she laughs again and starts dragging me towards her, it's already going to be the...
Ashton! Snap out of it!
No. I can't die here. Not yet.
Looks funny.
The haze fades from my mind and instinct kicks in then and there.
Everyone out! Get out! Get out of here!
With one powerful tug, I yank my foot out of her grip and scramble back to my feet. Ignoring the piercing wails, she fills the room with it. Bakit hindi na lang niya sinipa sa mukha?
Oo nga.
Kasi
May
if the ghost can touch you, then, you can touch it back. Within the span of a second, I'm gunning for the door, grabbing the wrist of first person my hand can reach and leading everyone out. Grabbing the wrist of the first person my hand can reach, so hindi niya tinignan. Paglabas siya, oh my god, it's the ghost. I grabbed the ghost.
That's a Scooby-Doo shit right there.
Into the hallway. Ano na yun? Like sa ingay na yun or yung sa screaming part na yun. Kasi of course, Ash was screaming. Hindi nagtaka yung landlord nila, yung landlady nila. Hindi lumabas.
O O kaya yung Giga Chad ano nila,
Oh, yung kapitbahay.
nakapitbahay mo.
Ingay niya. Into the
Gabing-gabi
hallway.
na.
Down the flight of steps. And right inside my car. I waste no time flooring on the gas pedal the second the last person closes the door behind them, and in a short while I'm driving us out of Salem Run. I don't even entertain the thought of winding down just yet, even as the last of the woman's painful cries fade into the night.
Yung closet siguro yan. Oo, closet yun.
Oh, it's
I'm-
Monday.
I'm curious kung sila lang yung nakakarinig ng sigaw ng ghost or rinig din ba ng mga kapitbahay.
Tingin ko sila lang. Parang sa mga ibang horror movies, di ba, na kunyari, parang pag may scene na ganun, yung sigaw lang nila yung naririnig. Like, pag may lalabas na kapitbahay, bakit ang ingay nyo? Sabihin nila, there's a ghost. Tapos papasok yung kapitbahay sa loob ng kwarto. Wala naman eh. Sabi lang, he will be then get jumped by the ghost and he's dead now.
No.
The cliche things to happen.
Cliche things.
Oh.
Pero sa bagay, nung yung sa Isabella chapter, yung sa window, siya lang nakakita, di ba?
Oh.
Siguro kung sino lang yung gusto ng ghost na makakita sa.
Oh, we jumped quite far. Kasi di ba dito tayo tumigil?
Oo.
Tapos... Oh. Gago sa baba tayo pumunta. Siguro kasi walang...
Siguro. Gago, skip pa lang.
Oh.
Gago, we're almost halfway, pare.
Malayo pa, bro.
Hindi,
One
third. Significant din.
Significant din. A dreary downpour starts off the Monday. Although it doesn't last for more than an hour, the dark clouds lift just after the sun peaks over the horizon. Brief as it is, the rain has significantly dampened the park's usual cheery vibe. Mornings like this often mark the start of another bad week. An arrest gone wrong, another investigation leading to a dead end, or some truly fucked up shit being called in. Like that one time I was dispatched to a scene where a guy gouged his own eyeball out and almost ate it. What? There's something wrong with people here. Or maybe he saw the ghost. He was being hunted by the ghost and ayaw na yung makita. Ah, shit. Gouges his own eyeball out.
Possible, pare, possible. Pero, putang ina, napakaan mong gago. Ba't niya kakainin?
Baka gutom. Gutom na rin ako, you know. Ayun. Was a few chews away from swallowing it. In
So, ibig
fact,
sabihin, sinubo niya talaga.
oo, tapos nginuya niya. Yeah. Lost my dinner that day.
Fun times.
Fun times, no, it's not at all. Of course, I doubt anything can top getting cursed by a damn chain letter, of all things. This is the sort of stupid thing people pass along as a prank through emails and text messages, for fuck's sake. A ghost chasing after you just puts the icing on that cake. So far, all we've done is run, snoop about, read stuff, and run again. It frustrates me to no end how we're still no closer to an answer. So, yan. Hindi pa rin nila nare-realize na yung the servant from the newspaper clipping na nakita ni Rebecca is the same woman na yung ghost. Mga
Pero nakwento na ni Rebecca yung about doon.
Mm-mm.
About dun sa newspaper clippings na nakita. Okay.
na-pile up na nila yung mga shit. Ganun. In short, mga bobo sila. They're idiot. Kasi ako nung una ko nilaro yun, I immediately thought, that's the ghost right there. That's the ghost right there. And yung unang run ko, there was no, wala akong pinatay. Up to this point, wala akong pinatay. Kabuhay sila lahat. So, I didn't have any memory fragments to work with. Parang ano lang, I presumed na yun yung ghost kasi, I don't know. It looks like, it's kind of obvious din naman. Di ba? Sila lang ng mga boboto ng ina nyo. Yung mamatay. Even my car reflects the state my mind is in. Photocopies of documents litter every available surface. Scattered all over the place, spilling from the passenger side and into the back seat, making an entire mess of what little space there is. Not that I'm any better. My last shower was 24 hours ago. Haven't slept at all, and my last meal was that chocolate porridge thing Isabella offered.
Temporado.
Temporado. Temporado, that's his yum yum.
Yum, temporado.
Oh, hindi ko na ano to. Hindi ko na pansin to. Magkakatabi.
Toastig.
Pero sa tingin ko wala tayong pupuntahan dito. Kasi sa tingin ko ito, pag nangyari na namatay si Isabella, namatay si Zach, namatay si Rebecca, and some other thing.
I don't know where you're pointing, pero I assume inisa-isa mo siya from top to bottom.
Sa taas, yung magkakatabing apat.
I assumed you did that.
The way I am now, I'll definitely get a scolding. Rebecca will definitely give me an earful and tell me to take care of myself better, say that I'm killing myself on the job. Tuloy-tuloy na yung story update. I can already hear Isabella complaining how dark the bags under my eyes are getting, and how I reek, and how I need a shower pronto.
I can rest easy when this is all over.
Rest easy, Lodi.
Rest easy, Lodi. It's not that I can't feel the pang of hunger. That woman chasing after you, it's difficult not to feel anything other than horror. The rush of adrenaline coursing through my veins in my desperation to survive. In fact, I can still sense the ghost of her touch. The ghost of her touch last night. Is that wordplay? The ghost of her touch. Ay, yan. Kapag kakatanda ko ito na, yung, di ba nandito na sila sa park? After nito kakain sila, or aabutan ata sila ni Isabella ng food. Then pupunta na sila doon sa priest. Then they will see the priest dead. Or brutally murdered. Parang ganun. We'll see.
We'll see.
Her bony digits wound tightly around my ankle, and that horrid smile she has on her as she pulls me closer. Ano yan? Fetish ng iba yan eh. Diba? Fetish ng iba yan eh. Yung mga yung mga gustong kinakabe doon sila. Yun yung, ayan. Fetish nila yan.
Gusto dinodominate.
The memory is enough to send a shiver up my spine and make me antsy. Perhaps the only thing comforting about this is the sight of my gun nearby. Uy!
Puta, Desert Eagle. Ay, hindi pala.
I think it's just a regular Glock. I think.
White.
From my dashboard, sunlight glints of Ophelia's surface. Also, this is Ophelia.
Oh!
I thought it's a person. It's a gun. Tangina yung mga shit niya may pangalan. Kasi nakalagay dito sa journal niya yun eh, di ba? Files. Yung likes.
Sa likes niya, Ophelia. Surely Ophelia.
Surely Ophelia. Okay. Tangina mga gago.
But it's weird na no? He found comfort in it, pero wala nga kwenta nung ginawa ko siya.
Oo, di ba? Di man lang niya tinry bumaril or di ba? But try niya one time. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, you know? Normally, I keep it hidden in a compartment. Oxbourne police regulations only allows authorized people to carry firearms, and even those are limited. I do have that authorization. I never really saw the need for its use when the standard issue tasers are more than good enough to incapacitate anyone. May taser naman pala siya. Diba? Ba't di niya tinry yung taser din? What a useless cop.
Balo eh. Balo eh.
If not, I can always throw them on their back. Those judo lessons that Dad forced me to get as a kid has its uses too. On a ghost, though, all of those will probably yield the same result. They're all useless. I might as well use a stick.
Rabay pisto.
Abanikadabra! Panalo siya dun, boy.
Oh, God.
However, it's the feeling of ease I'm after, or what little of it I can gather from it. The awareness that I, at least, have something to protect myself with in case things go wrong. That I can still protect the people who are still depending on me despite the missteps I've taken. It doesn't take the edge off, though, the feeling that your whole body has been strained far beyond its capacity. Frankly, I'm already running out of steam. Tuloy-tuloy na nga yung story up. Oh, hindi na agad tayo.
Gogo.
Oh, we missed. Whoa, we missed one. What's this?
Siguro pag may mga namatay yun.
Oo, sa tingin ko rin eh. The only thing pushing me right now is knowing someone's still depending on me. Stretch is still in order though. I've been sitting here since last night. Soon, I step out from my car, closing it behind me with a thud as I take in my surroundings. The rain did wonders. The morning air feels crisper and cooler than it has ever been in days. For once, the weather seems to be taking a turn for the normal. Luxborn normal. The distance, beyond the buildings lining the horizon, dark clouds are blowing in.
A storm might be due this evening, give or take.
Weatherman. A shame for the people looking forward to Halloween tonight. Oh, it's Halloween nga to October 31.
Oh, gago. 13-31 na pala.
I'm just not sure whether this is something I can look forward to as well. Still, I bask in the change it brings. Inhale, exhale, breathing in, taking in the peace as if it'll be my last. But as with all the good things, the quiet shortly comes to an end. Not necessarily a bad end. The chatter reaches my ears first, halting my movements. Sure enough, when I glance up, I find them. Zach, Rebecca, and Isabella, just as they've entered the park grounds, bags of convenience store food in hand. After last night's flight from Salemwell, we've elected to stay the night here, unsure if our own homes will still be safe. Normally, we'd all be adverse to the idea of spending the night outside like this, but panic and distress has tainted that decision. Not like any of us has gotten an ounce of sleep anyway. On the off chance one of us did. It only lasted but a second, or it's a fitful one.
Wait lang, may question. Na ano ba? Pinakita ba yung house ni Ash?
Hindi pa. Out of all of them,
Oo nga, siya lang.
sa
Siya
kanya
yung
lang
hindi pa
yung bahay lang yung hindi pinapakita. Baka wala siyang bahay.
Oh, we went up. We went up.
Hmm?
Pero may branching tree. I think we went up.
Oh, we did. Oh, we did. So, mahabang ano yan. Mahabang skip.
Oo.
So, maybe, itong nasa taas, everyone lives. Then ito, sa baba, 1 died, 2 died, 3 died. Parang ganun siguro yun.
Siguro. Possible.
Or hindi, ito, ewan ko. Anyway. Let's see how long that skip is. Oh, mahaba. Hindi naman ganun kahaba. Gandito siya. And here, the skip. But looking at them right now from afar, it's easy to mistake them for just a group of friends on a day out. Isabella's gesturing wildly with her arms as she talks. Pinoy na Pinoy eh. May overblown movements pag nagkikwento. Something funny or amusing, probably, because it's soon followed by Zach's booming laughter and Rebecca's giggles. Their voices fill the atmosphere with light air, temporarily easing off the disheartening mood. Easy to pretend we're not knee deep in a life and death situation and the way they're acting now. If anything, it's only their appearance that betrays that mask. Slightly disheveled, bags under their eyes, dusted curve in their shoulders, and dragging footsteps. But the closer they get, the more obvious these signs are to the naked eye. Zach tosses an energy drink my way the moment the distance allows it. Isabella hands me the other bag she's holding before seating herself on the edge of the fountain. Uy, energy sheep. Nice.
Ano yan? Ano isang beef?
Oo nga, parang beef or pork. I'm guessing it's beef.
Lempo
Rice.
pa. Lempo yan.
Limpo.
It's
Pero
weird
kung
na
ano
merong no? Convenience store sa na may rice. Pero hindi naman uso sa ibang bansa masyado yung rice.
Meron naman dito din sa atin, di ba? Sa 7-Eleven.
Dito sa atin sa Pinas, oo. Kasi nga, syempre, custom sa atin yung rice. Sa kanila, hindi naman.
Parang nasa sila, Europe sila. Tanong nga natin si Kura next time. Kung nagkakanin sila doon.
Di ba, nga sila doon? Filipino dish sila.
Oo, pero malay mo naman yung Filipino dish is instead of rice. Parang yung ginagawa ng Americans, di ba? Instead of rice, mashed potatoes.
Oo.
Parang yung substitute nila sa carbs. Yan. We'll ask him.
We'll ask. Matagal-tagal na rin natin hindi nakakausap si Turan.
Ano daw siya, di ba? Busy din daw siya.
Busy.
Busy.
Basically.
The scent of warm food immediately wafted from the bag when I open it, carried further by a passing breeze. Whatever sweet sauce they drizzled over this pork wannabe, it's pork. It smells heavenly. Hell, even the sorry-looking vegetables seem appetizing. Despite myself, without even checking exactly what this is, hunger swiftly takes over every rational thought. I dig in without waiting for them to start. The rest of them appear to be of the same mind too. Soon enough, they also start with theirs. No casual talk while we fill our empty stomachs. Exhausted as we all are, food is something we can't forego. Starvation dulls the thinking, weakens the body. The body. If we are to survive this, we're gonna have to take care of ourselves first. In a matter of minutes, we're done and dumping the empty cartons on a nearby waste bin. Along with it is the shift in the mood. Back to dismal, back to the problem at hand. Comfortable atmosphere from minutes ago was nice while it lasted. Admittedly, I've missed these kinds of moments between us. We never had a chance, always busy on some project or work. The things we've taken for granted, now we're realizing how valuable they are. So based sa description niya, parang ito yung most time that they spend together. As in, as a group together sila, no?
Group.
So kung may matututunan tayo dito, oops. Nabasa ko na. Kung may matututunan tayo dito, it is to spend time with your friends bago pa kayo multuhin. Diba? Yun eh. Kasi diba, na hinintay nyo pang multuhin kayo para lang, to have, spend time together. Although it's not fun kasi you're being hunted and you might potentially die, lose your life, ganun. Still, time together.
Quality time.
Quality time, pare. Tayo lang. The world
Goodness,
has an
goodness.
awful sense of humor. While the one we've just had is short-lived, it's another thing I want to look forward to. If we ever free ourselves from this damn curse, I'd like to believe there's a way. For now, we have to focus back on the present. This. Dead people. Better.
Oh,
Curse.
he said the thing.
Hmm?
He said the thing.
Oh yeah, he said the thing. The letter, he said the thing. Nice. Insert yung Leonardo DiCaprio meme. Ano ba yun? Sa anong movie to? Yung Wolf of Wall Street ba yun? Yung saan yung gif na yun? Nanggaling?
Hindi ata eh.
Di ko alam. I forgot.
Pero feeling ko hindi siya sa Wolf of Wall Street.
Anyway, ano ata yung Titanic. Anyway, search ko mamaya yun. Kasi I'm curious.
I'm on it.
Okay. It's not simple to bring these up, but necessary.
What now? Where do we go from here?
The church. Not a question directed at anyone in particular, but they all look to me as if my face has all the answers in the world. I used to think so back when I was at the top of my game. I'm still sure of everything. Now, there's just uncertainty sullying whatever decision I come up with. At some point, logic has simply stopped working here, and we've started grasping at straws. Along with exhaustion, fatigue, and stress, we have enough kindling to get a fire burning. Oh. Bakit magkakagalit sila?
Oh. What happened?
Hindi ko lang, wala pa. Baka ito pala may mag-argue. Not so pleasant kind of fire. But we're good in relationship-wise, diba? Lahat.
Oo nga.
Well, let's see. Baka ano lang. Away, kung anong gagawin sunod.
Ang bata.
Well, first, we can't just stay here. That much is obvious.
But we can't just keep running like this either, Becca. Sooner or later, she'll...
As if we have a choice. We can't even go back to our own homes because that thing might get us. No, we're safe. But dying is the last thing I want to do right now, Isabella. Not to a stupid chain letter you were too gullible to pick up, bring with you, and show to everyone.
Correction, she did not show it to everyone. It just, accidentally fell off her bag and then you picked it up.
Kasalanan niya yun. Kasalanan niya yun.
Kasalanan niyo, pinulot niyo eh.
I didn't do it on purpose!
Exactly.
Becca, had I known, I wouldn't have...
Hey, you two! None of us want to die to this. Just calm down. We ain't getting anywhere shouting at each other.
Whose side are you on, Zachary?
No one's.
No one's. But we can't just say it's her fault. She did warn us not to open it, and both you and Ashton...
That
Okay.
doesn't exempt her from any blame. She's still largely responsible for it.
I mean, it's not really her fault kasi kayo naman yung nagbukas.
Not really
And she
her
did
fault.
warn you.
Kasi anyone na nasa position niya would pick up the letter eh. Diba? Not knowing what it is. Especially sa ano niya, considering her work, real estate agent siya. Tapos nakita niya there's like some paper lying on the floor sa open house nila. It might be an important document, diba? So she picked it up.
Yeah.
She didn't know,
And you're not?
Oy.
I didn't say that! Do you really think I don't blame myself for this as well?
I tried to warn all of you. None of you listened. Now you're blaming me for something I kept telling you guys since day one?
Very sound argument right there. Your Honor.
Oh,
She has a point, Your Honor.
Pero ang weird ang weird ng picture. Kung titingnan mo yung yung background. At tingnan mo itsura ni Zack, parang hindi siya yung yung gumigit na. Di ba?
Oo.
Parang galit din siya, parang ganun. Pero sa dialogue, siya, gumigit na siya. He's the calm one.
Ano siya bound? Parang pag tinignan mo yung yung picture na to, parang si Ash yung nagja-judge kung sino mananalo sa debate. Tapos si Zack yung bouncer. Oh, nothing to see here, folks. Move along.
You're just as responsible for this as I am.
Now that's not a really good argument. How is she responsible for it? Rebecca's not responsible for anything. She just happens to, nadamay lang siya in all this. Wala siyang kasalanan dito.
Tama.
So now, you're throwing it back at us. We wouldn't even be having this problem if you're...
Will you two cut it out? This ain't the place for I don't know, petty squabbles.
Nagalit na siya.
Ayan na, nagalit na siya. Okay na.
If you don't want to get caught in it, then stay out of this, Zachary.
Oh no, Zach! Don't stop her! Let her say it! I'm sure she has plenty more to say.
I'm curious kung ano kaya mangyari dito pag yung relationship natin is, in the negative. Siguro tangin na lalala yung away. No?
Siguro. Maybe they would split up.
If I didn't know any better, she's already.
Oh. Low blow. It's not a blow. It's one good punch. Watch the replay.
Already what? You want me to say it? Out loud? That I find you in this whole thing?
All right, that's enough!
Si Daddy.
Brutalo si Daddy.
Everyone, shut up!
Sorry, Itay. Sorry, boss. They all falter to silence at my words, and an awkward, stifling mood descends between us. I do not mean to shout, snap at them, add to that kindling, not in a moment when any time, anywhere she might get one of us. We're all in the same boat, yet here we are, playing the blame game. Little by little, we're falling apart, caving in to the pressure, to the bleak situation we're trapped in. Did that ghost mean for this to happen, to divide each of us, kulang ng us, each of us, so she can pick us off one by one right after? Who knows? Ay na strategic yung ghost, pare. Matalino.
Oo, pare.
Art of War, divide and conquer.
I found the movie na pala. Segue lang. Sa meme. I found the meme yung
Ayon kay Leonardo.
Leo. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. I'm familiar with them. Ano pala yun?
She's playing as Rick Dalton. Yes.
Kala ko talaga sa Titanic. Anything's possible now if her kind can exist. With the fire burning between us, rising as high as it does now, I'm afraid, deathly afraid, that the possibility might come sooner than I can figure all of this out. Fuck. Still can't think straight. Can't even believe the next words coming out of my own mouth, that out of everyone, I have to be the one saying these to them. This is more their forte than mine, keeping the peace, assating everyone, while I unintentionally aggravate people with badly chosen words. Funny how fast the tables have turned after just one unfortunate incident. Oh, copium. How am I even supposed to cope? Copium.
If we all want to get out of this mess in one piece, we're gonna have to cool our heads first.
Hey, journal updated. Let's see. Yung away. Ay, hindi. Yung
Ay,
pagkain.
puta. Pagkain. The calm before the storm.
Hmm?
The calm before the storm.
Oo. Pero ito, the first one to reach October
October
31st
31.
ay Ashton. Tumbay, sanda branching tree bay, di pa tayo tapos bay.
Andun pa rin.
Before my own temper flares, I walk away and slide back into my car. If the door slams with more force than needed, I'd like to blame it on the pent-up anger boiling up in me. I'm not even sure what or who I'm angry at. The ghost? At them? Or maybe at myself for being this useless? Because despite none of them saying it, I know, but damn it, they're still counting on me. In spite of my failures, or every harsh word I've uttered, or how unbearable I can be as a friend, it's there when the tension after the argument finally breaks. One by one, they follow me and get in the car. It's in concerned glances they shoot my way when I start the engine without a word and drive off. It's in their silence, a heavy gift, their unwavering trust. Tiwala, pare.
What? Sorry.
Tiwala
Then?
ka. Tiwala kay Ash.
Ano nangyari? Tumayo ako saglit.
Ano nangyari? Bumalik lang si Ash sa car. Then sumunod sila. Then they drove off to somewhere. Now we don't know about yet. I'm thinking they're going to the church.
Oh, okay.
Yet it's one I'm more than willing to carry, even through my own exhaustion, if only to keep them safe. In this city of 68,000 strangers, they're the only ones I have left. Though, in all seriousness, a good rest is still our best bet for now. Thinking with an exhausted brain is almost as good as running around in circles. We might as well just throw ourselves at the ghost and be done with this. Oh, the bar. The local Irish pub may not be the best place to hang around when one hasn't slept a wink, or you're stressed, more often than not, loud.
Di ba umaga pa lang?
Well, I guess, kasi diba dito siya parang nagko-consult minsan kay G. Yan, yung pangalan ng bartender, si G. Na kamukha at kaboses ng ng chief of police. Sometimes the music played by drunkards grates the ears and the whole place smells like piss on a bad day. All in all, it's the very definition of the last place I'll hang around after a wakeful night, but it's safe. Or as safe as it can be with G's security watching the place. Makes it easy to find help in case you find yourself in a tight spot. The place being owned by a person I've implicitly placed my trust on provides some semblance of comfort too. Oh, Gregor. So that's his name. Gregor.
Oh,
Gregor. Bartender G, or just G, because regular patrons might be rough around the edges. Sometimes a bit too gruff for a man serving drinks behind the counter, but he belongs to the good folks of this city. If there's anyone in this place I can rely on to look after people important to me, it's probably him. He means well. Surprisingly, despite his surly demeanor, cares to some extent for people he likely only sees once or twice a week or on a bad day. Not the best job in the world, in my opinion, but that's exactly it, isn't it? In wine, there is truth. Eka nga ni Thomas Shelby, whiskey is good proofing water, pare.
Tama.
Alcohol, in this case, it loosens the tongue, forces one to let his or her guard down, whatever inhibitions anyone has. All flies straight out the window after a few glasses. Has made him observant too. Always has one or two things to say about someone or something. Most of the time it's me, opinionated ass. But God knows how many times I've asked for his help when I'm met with a dead end in a case or I'm in trouble. This time's no different. As expected, the moment we show up, he's kind enough to offer us a room at the back of his shop. Single look at my face, I don't even need to say anything, and the next thing we know, he's leading us in. No questions asked. Maybe it's also for this reason why I find myself drifting towards his station hours later, after having gotten that much needed shut-eye. Ano tulog sila?
Tulog sila.
Tulog. Newly washed drinking glasses and tumblers line the counter surface when I enter the room. Behind the bar, G's busy wiping each of them clean, likely prepping it for tonight's use. Anong araw ba ang 31?
I think it's Monday.
It's Monday. Briefly, he glances up at me once I claim one of the empty stools and grab a rocks glass sitting closest to my elbow. Turning it absent-mindedly in my palm, just to keep my hands occupied while my brain's busy, still trying to make sense of everything. Even at a dead hour, with only a few patrons milling about, this place still smells strongly of liquor. Honestly, I've never grown fond of it. Regardless of how many times I've made a trip or sat here on the same spot, just talking with the old man. I've never been fond of drinking in the first place. Yet oddly, it's the nasty odor of a brewery that helps clear the mind this time. Along with the lack of the establishment's usual hubbub and the occasional clinking of glasses. Even more bizarre is that, through my lack of words, G doesn't say anything. Although it's clear from the way his mouth has curved up in a tight frown that he has questions, bucketload of it, he wisely keeps it shut. Instead, he simply focuses back on his work, rinse, wipe, stash away, repeat. Going through the motions with such familiarity, it's almost a trance. Watching his precise movements quietly like this, with these thoughts swimming inside my head, it's easy to lose track of everything around me. One solid lead on this, one possible way to sort this out, but will it work? Especially if my assumption's correct and that the reason Zach was there yesterday morning was because of the curse. Hindi ba sinabi ni Zach sa inyo? Ano naman yan?
Pero hindi nga sila nag-uusap pa.
Kaya wala kayong nararating eh. Kaya yan, nag-aaway kayo eh. Kaya kulang sa communication pa.
Kasi sila open.
Something must have happened there for him to see the need to visit the place that morning. What if the couple has fallen victim to the curse too? Doesn't fall outside the realm of possibility. I've been so biased, not even thinking that they might be in danger as well. But during the open house with Isabella, they might have seen the letter and... Fuck. Hindi rin sinabi ni Isabella yun. Like, oy, hindi lang pala kayo nakita nito. Nakita rin pala ni, the interior designer, the right couple, and, Rose. That's why Rose died, I know.
Oo.
Hindi pala sinabi ni Isabella. Ano ba naman yan?
Stupid, stupid, stupid. Some fucking detective I am.
That's likely the moment when Cooper saw it. If the logic holds, I need to hurry there right away, and if there are answers anywhere, it would be there. It should be there, where all of this fucking mess started. Not only my life on the line here, there are others. What happened to us, I won't wish on anyone else, no matter how much I loathe them. Or how complicated all of this has suddenly become. The letter. Oh, he said it again. He said it
Oh,
again. The woman. The mansion. And now there are voices lacing venom inside every crevice in my head. Murmurs that jeer, scoff, and deride whenever an opportunity presents itself.
It's because you didn't listen.
Puta, yun ang ano niya pare.
Pagubing.
Persona niya. Kakausap siya ng persona niya, gago. I am thou. Thou art. Puta, yun na.
It's all your fault. Why won't you believe me?
A reminder of what I failed to do and who I failed. At some point, they all begin to blur together. Twining, and coiling, every horrid image and memory of her, seeking the forefront of my mind. No matter how much I refuse to remember the fear I've felt then, push it as far back as I can, the visions come to me like a deluge. Before I know it, before I can drown, another voice pulls me out of it. It's G the Savior.
You doing good there, boy?
Hey.
Yo, puta.
His hands on my shoulders, gripping it tightly and giving me a light shake. There's relief in his face when I finally look up at him, although his frown appears more distinct than the concern in his eyes. It's deeper now, marred with worry and agitation. He does let go when I offer him a small nod, but the furrow between his eyebrows never leaves his face. He always has a knack of reading people, after all, even someone who can be as closed off or distant like me. In all the time I've spent in the force, there's only one other person who's as keen as this old guy. The chief. Aha! It's because he is the chief. Funny and weird to some degree. I've pointed it out to him so many times before how much they look alike, only for the observation to be brushed off with a vehement tone. So, sadya pala ng game yan, pare. Hindi pala ni-recycle, sinadya ng game.
Sinadya talaga.
Sinadya ng game. Sinadya namin, akala nyo, kamali kami. No!
Tapos magkapatid pala sila.
I've never brought it up again after the third time, out of respect for the guy, whatever it is. It's clear it's something he doesn't want to talk about. Oh, gago, possibly. Baka magkapatid sila, di ba? Twins. They're twins.
Twins, pare. Doesn't want to talk about it.
Oh. Why push, right? However, during times like this, it's impossible for the thought not to come up. He even has the glare down pat. Under his wordless scrutiny, I feel like a damn rookie again.
You're looking a bit green. Sure you got plenty of rest back there? You were only out for an hour or two. Wouldn't hurt to try and get some sleep. I'll keep an eye out.
No need. Don't worry about me. I won't be able to get some sleep anyway.
Not with her face still a clear picture in my head. No.
I heard that from you before. Not buying it. What's the story this time? This as bad as that case with the guy who ate his own eyeball?
I wish it were. Jesus, stop reminding me. I hated that case. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you get a kick out of telling people about it.
It's useful, you know, for blokes who don't know their limits. Sends them right out the door after I start with a description. Or was it the part when the poor schmuck gouged his eyes out? Nasty, awful, icky stuff, and it gets the job done. Like I said, useful. Don't even need to call security these days if I want to kick someone out. Anyway, pretty sure that pales in comparison to whatever this is now. I haven't seen you this stressed out since I closed that case. The one from 10 years ago with your professor friend.
Abigail and her team weren't able to solve that one, G. No one has been able to. It just went cold.
Same difference. But what do I know, eh? I just serve drinks, listen to people's problems and their whining, then make sure they get home safe afterwards. Thing is, I'm also not blind, kiddo. And you can bet your ass I can tell when a person's about to fall apart.
What? Is this some form of therapy from you? Are you going to offer me free drinks now?
Really, I can use some right now. Something to numb the senses. But when has that helped anyone?
Ha! In your dreams, kid. Last time someone gave you the hard stuff, your photographer friend had to haul you out of this place almost half naked.
Hey, I can handle my liquor when I put my mind to it.
Maui pala to eh. Huhubad pare pag gan-
Oh, maui.
Not from what I've seen, nope. Besides, you usually avoid drinking. Either way, it's out of the equation. And when booze no longer counts, we just talk. So, talk. It's not like anyone within earshot will care. That chap over there only wants his cricket matches.
I doubt you believe it, G.
I've heard worse stuff. Try me.
You know that mansion down at Anslum?
Yeah, who doesn't? You live in this town long enough, it's impossible not to hear a thing or two about it. Bloody locals.
Well, my friend found a primitive version of a chain letter in there. Now that we've seen it, we're cursed.
A beat passes. For a long moment, G stands there, unmoving. His hand stops short of placing the glass he's been wiping prior back to a rack on his left. All while he stares at me with eyes that are nothing short of scrutinizing. He probably assumes I'm joking. Who wouldn't? Not a week ago, I've been put in the same position. Even now, in spite of the things I've seen and heard, it simply won't sink in. Maybe this is just desperation creeping in. The idea that I may not be able to find a way out of this. Whatever the case is, for people who hasn't experienced what I'm going through, this will merely sound like an awful Halloween prank.
It's not a prank.
This must have been what Isabella felt the whole time we made fun of her that day.
This isn't a prank! I saw something!
Now it's too late. We're stuck in a never-ending nightmare where the only way out might be death. Like I've expected, G's reaction to it, an amused laughter. It booms throughout the whole pub after a long bout of silence, like I've just told him a particularly funny joke.
Okay. Good one, kid.
Tayo ng tawa yan. Good.
You don't want to spill. No one's forcing you. Seriously, though. Good one.
Although I want to be angry with him, I can't find it in myself. Can't even muster the energy for a scowl or a glare. Nothing but a taste of my own medicine to temper the annoyance bubbling up in me, I suppose. In the end, echoing her words is the best I can do.
It's not a joke.
Yeah, all right. Good luck with that. You're on your own. Here, I thought you didn't have an ounce of humor in that body. Guess I'm wrong.
He shakes his head, lets out another chuckle before returning to his task. By now, almost half of the glasses have been put away. The only ones remaining are the smaller kind used for shots and stemmed ones for cocktails. Despite being busy with his task, his amusement does not entirely disappear from his face. He keeps talking as if I'm simply another customer he entertains with his stories. But we both know it's more than that. The wistful expression on him says anything.
Man, can't believe you're the same rookie who walked in here almost a decade ago. Too smart for his own good, that boy. Has always been 2 steps ahead of things. Now he's here, sulking.
I must have screwed up somewhere then.
I must have screwed up a lot. For things to suddenly shift like this, for me to become a mere shadow of the person I used to be.
Nah, I don't think so. This one, screwed up? Not by a mile. It's too early to say. You've still got several years ahead of you, Holmes. Take it easy. But some things change, eh? It has been years, and you were a kid back then. You know, the sort that's a bit unsure, making all the horrible decisions in life he'd eventually be embarrassed to talk about.
You never stop calling me kid, though.
Because you are a kid.
Well, you still are.
Okay.
It's just that this time, you're sure of who that badge and gun is for. What was it you police types usually say? To protect and serve, yeah?
Serve and protect. Significant pause follows at its heels. From both of us, as he allows its meaning to sink in, and spur something in me, stirring a feeling both heavy and forceful, but not completely unwelcome. Familiar. Though before I can even clarify what he's trying to imply or gather my thoughts on the matter, he turns away to begin his work on the silverwares. Oh, the bar. He'll need those too once more of his patrons come in for lunch. Low and easy. Sharp contrast with the strained air we've been wading through these past weeks. Fleeting moment, but one I allow myself to relish, if only because of its absence lately. The way things are now, this is almost a gift. When it all ends with the loud shuffling of foot from the adjacent hallway, a sigh is all that leaves me. There's no need for me to look up to know who it is. His friends. Zach's treads alone are telling. There's always a weighted set to them, steps that are taken with a lazy cadence. Like he's always trying to make himself smaller, less conspicuous than he actually is. In a place he's unfamiliar with, he also tends to linger, stand awkwardly at the sides as if he's all too afraid to break something. That or he's waiting for a permission of some kind. Either way, he's never been the kind to barrel headfirst into things or forgo courtesy, despite appearances. Much like how Rebecca's mother, Henning Belize, anyway, her fiery temperament, where Isabella's rare displays of maturity appears at odds with her youth. There has been a lot of those in my life, it seems, more so from the people I've grown closer to over the years. Walking contradictions, we all are. I wonder how we ended up as friends in the first place. Maybe that's also exactly why. To some extent, there's still an understanding in there, in knowing. That no matter how long you've been together, or how familiar you are with a person's habits, or how many lifetimes there might be for all of you, one can never fully know a person. Sometimes it works because they merely chose to stay. Sometimes it's as simple as someone extending a hand first for an apology, regardless of every hurtful word said.
Hey, Ash?
This time I glance at him, briefly, gauging the mood. Not because reconciliation's an issue for me, but between us it never will be. But somehow, this is another thing I'm all too afraid to see crumble in front of me. One wrong word, if this is going to end in another argument, we might as well stop as early as now. There's another long pause from him, during which he can't seem to figure out what to do with his hand. Jabul ka.
Double.
In the end, he chooses to stuff both into his pockets and trains his eyes at the now empty space behind the counter. Without our notice, G has slipped back to the kitchen, leaving only the two of us and everything awkward in the world at the moment. Still, Zach trudges on, hopeful tone slipping into his voice simply because it's the only thing he knows to do.
Did you, get any sleep?
It's a start, at least. A stiff one, but a start. The least I can offer in return is that rare honesty.
For a few. A few hours, yeah.
Kurt. Brusque. Is it Brusque? Brusque? Brusco? Kurt Brusque. I think it's Brusque. Not
I
announced.
think it's first.
Not an ounce of friendliness in it. In spite of it, Zach takes it as a sign. Relief washes over him as his shoulders relax and he releases a tense breath. Soon, he's closing the distance he has put between us and flops into the chair to my right.
I think the better question is if the dreams are pleasant. And for the record, no.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I get those a lot.
He shifts in his seat, puffs, drums his fingers on the counter for a short while, then falls silent. That's it, no apologies. Somehow, that short exchange is all we need. The air changes again, much like everything we've known lately. Maybe not for the better, not yet. However, it's less suffocating, with less hostility and resentment. The kind where it's easy to pretend, easy to forget. Not that it's a thing that'll happen anytime soon, but one can dream. In a situation where death might come knocking anytime, it's these little hope we cling to. It's these little things we wish will happen again. I'm not an optimistic person by nature, hopeful maybe, but never optimistic. Though I want to believe there's a way we'll live through this nightmare. Just funny how it took all of this to spur these kinds of thoughts in me. Can't even remember the last time something like it has occurred to me. For some reason, after seeing one harrowing thing after another, I've simply forgotten.
Why are you suddenly smiling like that?
Huh? Oh, no, I was just thinking about something.
Kinilig si Ash. Napangiti.
Well, it better be something that'll get us out of this mess.
What makes you think I know how to fix this? Until 2 days ago, I didn't even believe a word you guys have been telling me. Zach, I function better when I'm dealing with homicide cases. Hell, feel free to throw in the usual robbery and missing persons case into the mix. I don't care. Give me a few days and I'll give you a lead. This isn't how I operate. This isn't what I'm good at.
It's basically the same. You already have the information, the documents, bro, the newspaper clippings. Just have to piece it together and use a little bit of common sense.
For all you know, I might even end up getting us killed. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, the fact that you're frustrated but still trying already means something, Ash. Besides, you don't make that face unless you already have an idea. It can't be any worse than this. Maybe. What's on your mind, Ash?
There really is something about the man. Between Rebecca and him, I tend to share with him things I won't normally say to the other. Unlike her, who pushes sometimes with the same tenacity as her moods, Zach has this strange tendency to ease people into telling him what he wants to know. Oftentimes, the question feels so subtle, catches me off guard. Less force and more forbearance. After all, out of everyone, he's the most grounded. Grounded. Pinagalitan ng magulang. Ay, wait. Wala pala siyang magulang. Oh my God, that's offensive.
Pare. Racist.
Namatay pala yung parents niya. Sorry, I'm not a racist. I forgot. Really, he's like the older brother I never had. The kind you can depend on when things go sour. The kind you tell things to simply because he'll listen, without forcing his own opinions on you.
We still have one more lead we haven't checked. I'm gonna look into it tonight.
It doesn't take him long to put two and two together, and his calm expression abruptly dissolves to worry, the second he realizes what I meant. We've already examined the letter, read through piles of documents. There's really only one we haven't given a once-over. The mansion. The church! Go to the church!
The church, no, pare, the church.
Of course, Zach may not be the kind to push, but that doesn't mean he agrees with everything that comes out of my mouth. It's his way of keeping me steady and on my feet through the years.
Hold on, didn't you tell me not to go in there? Whatever happened to stay away from Luke Wright?
Ikaw yun. Ako hindi. Ikaw yung bawal.
You're an unarmed civilian, Zach.
And so?
So, I want you to stay here and keep yourself safe. I probably won't take too long, but I don't know what might happen. I'm not even sure if I'll find something in there. G will keep an eye on you guys.
Gee! Where are we? Oh, we're here.
Uy.
Ang weird na ano na to. Sa inyo, ito yung rectangle thing.
Oo.
Daming pwedeng branches. Like, 1, 2, 3, 5 branches.
And out of all of that, doon tayo sa common route na punta.
Oo nga. Well, siguro, pag may namatay, like, di ba? We killed off someone.
If you need anything, if that woman shows up, just holler. He'll help out, no questions asked. You don't even need to explain anything.
He's not willing to concede, not from the manner he grips his knees or the rigid set to his jaw.
I'm going with you. You can't go in there alone, Ash. I heard something.
Where?
The morning I was there, I heard someone scream and then there was a woman crying, and I don't know what's going on inside that mansion, but I am telling you, you shouldn't face whatever's inside alone.
Before I can stop myself, a heavy breath escapes from my mouth. It's one of those times again where Zach means well, but he's completely missing the point I'm trying to make. And things take a turn for this when he gets in a mood like this. He's almost as headstrong as Isabella. How and where do I even start?
Oh, a choice.
I'd feel better if I don't have to worry about it. You'll only get in the way. It brings the relationship down. Yay!
Yes!
There are only 2 ways this will end. I agree with him and take him with me, or I agree with him and drop the idea altogether. Neither appeals more than the other, especially when we're all desperate for answers and a way out. If all it'll take is a little more honesty to make him drop his harebrained idea, so be it.
Look, man. Bro. Z-Man. Zach. Zachary, listen.
Daming tao na muna. Yo, bro, tol, chong, dude, pare, chong.
Dude, pare, chong.
I know you only want to help.
Like hell! This ain't just about helping, Ashton! You're throwing yourself in the thick of it, on your own!
Sumisigaw. Tangin nun to. Maoyo, boss.
Maui.
Labas ka nga to. Tangin na, maoyo. Di pa umiinom yan.
Nakagising na Maui na pare.
Was your fall last night really that bad? Did you hit your head hard?
Yes.
I honestly can't tell if you've gone stupid or just plain suicidal.
My head's okay, Zach. But it won't stay that way if we don't do anything about this. Someone has to.
Seriously, this is already a desperate move. The longer we dally, the faster we're losing our options. Do we even have one? Looking back at it, this whole business with the ghost seems perfectly set up to drive us into a corner. Either until we lose our mind or she gets us. Sobrang strategic talaga ng ghost eh. Either I kill you or you lose your mind and you kill yourself. And if you're, group of friends, I'll divide you and I'll conquer you one by one. Mahusay yung ghost.
Expert in modern warfare.
It's starting to feel as if there isn't an escape. We've already become her playthings the second Isabella found that letter. Well, napulot yung napulot yung letter. Ooh, atoy! A new story. Lucky me. That our lives are in her hands ticks me off big time. The idea of watching the people I care about die helplessly, more so. They're much safer here than with me. It's a selfish thought, I know, born out of fear. So, in case things go awry, the very last thing I want to happen is for Zack to take the fall with me. I've already made enough mistakes.
And that means it's just you.
Just me.
Yeah. And Ophelia.
Ophelia and Shirley.
And Shirley. Suddenly he clamps up. Although his actions, the restless shift in his shoulders, his mouth pressing close in a tight line, and how he starts off again in a quiet tone, in a quiet note, it all gives away his real thoughts, long before 2 words have even made it out of his mouth.
I'm sure you already know about this.
Mahal kita. Umamin sila kung bakla pala siya.
Maybe this is you trying to make amends, or whatever. I don't know. You're making your own decisions here.
Tingnan mo, sino bang nasa harap mo? Ako to. Pinatoy. Namahal mo.
Tangin mo.
But if something happens to you, it'll be just that. You'll just be another dead body out there.
Yes.
Please,
Yes.
don't do something like this.
Don't worry. I'm not stupid enough to get myself killed. I just want things to go back to normal, Zack.
Another dead air follows at the heels of that one admission. The meaning of my words, too heavy, too striking, it stuns us into another lull. Puta, AO is stun.
It's done.
Optimism aside, we're both aware that's impossible. We're going to have to deal with the trauma right after. There will be images, voices whispering inside our heads, the foreboding feeling. The stench of blood, gore, and death trailing after us. We may survive this, but those things, they will remain in us for a long time. One does not survive something like this without it leaving something in you. Just the mere thought of what might come right after makes me dread it. But this has changed in all of us. But I suppose that outcome is more acceptable. The lesser of 2 evils.
3 hours.
3 hours? Tangina bro, Sogo. Sogo daw, Sogo. 3
Check in.
hours. 453 hours. Sorry. My head snaps up and I turn to him, puzzled. He's staring at his hands with a thoughtful expression, brows furrowed in deep concentration. Like he's trying to choose the right words to convey what he's about to say.
3 hours? For what?
That's all go.
That's more than enough time to go there, to check things, like you said, and travel back here. If you don't show up here beyond that, I'm going after you.
From his tone, it sounds almost like a warning. I'm sure it's not his intention. But hearing something like that from a person like Zack, I can't help but chuckle and throw in a jibe, despite how dire things are. Just like the old times.
Make that 4.
Putangin, tumawad. 4 hours boss.
What? You said you're just gonna check things. Why would you even need that long?
Bro, it's a fucking mansion, bro. It's big. Kaya sa tingin mo, kaya na 4 hours. Gago. I have to
Saka yung biyahe,
sneak
yung
around.
biyahe pa.
Oo nga, di ba? Yung biyahe pa. Like, sabihin natin, kasi di ba malayo daw.
Oh.
Sabihin natin, 45 minutes siguro max. Na kotse naman siya. 45 papunta, 45 pabalik. So, di ba? Nasa 1 hour and 30 minutes na yun. 90 minutes or 30 minutes na yun. Taka na, you have like 2 hours and 30 minutes if 4 hours yung binigay sa'yo, di ba? Tangina, hindi mo iikot yun, gago. Kasi iisipin mo pa, tangina, saan ako papasok? Di naman pwede sa front door, di ba?
Saka mag-i-sneaky ka pa doon.
And ano yun, sinabi la, ilang acres yung lot? Si ano nga, di ba si Johans na matangkad? Nagreklamo kasi di ba pinaikot sa kanya yung buong lote nang
Oo.
nakapaa lang siya. Yeah. Ang ina nito.
Tangin.
Bobo. Nice.
Ugok eh.
Kaya kayo ganyan eh. Hindi nyo nasa-solve yung case, pare.
Speed limit.
Putang speedrun daw, bro. Speed limit.
I'm a ranked law enforcement officer, Zach. I'm supposed to set an example.
I so wanna punch you right now.
Pero tangin na, no? Despite that, mali yung sagot. Mali pa rin yung sagot ni Ash eh. Diba? Yun yung tamang sagot dun eh. Bro, kulang pa nga yung 4 hours. Mansion yun. Tangin na. Gago. Of course, Zach never carries it out. In like moments like this, it's just how he is, how we are. Unfortunately, G chooses the next moment to show up. He slams the flat his palm on the counter and shooting us both a stern look. Although his tone's nothing short of jovial, the disapproval's clear in it. He's obviously misunderstanding the situation.
Boys, drummer's nice and all. I used to watch these bloody god-awful afternoon serials with one of my brothers many, many years ago.
Kabarin niya yung chief. I think that confirms it.
But listen, I am not having one in my pub, all right? You two want to fight? Go out.
Eh, hindi po wala pa nag-aaway, boss.
Wala po.
A pregnant boss. Nabuntis yung boss pa. Buntis. Pregnant pause. Ano nga daw narinig na what does a pregnant pause mean?
I don't know.
Sa tingin ko mali yun. Ewan. Then without any preamble, Zach and I are both snickering and G's blower melts into confusion. When we both show no sign of stopping, he simply shakes his head and turns away. Ah, pahiya. Nasaan tayo sa branch? Oh, question. Seriously, natin. Pagdating dito, we
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're almost halfway. Dito yung
Almost.
halfway. And then di ko pala natin. Basta, onti na lang. I'd like to think it's better this way. Better that we part on light terms, so Zach won't have to see every little insecurity, every little doubt in me right now. He's seen enough. The last thing I want him to glimpse is another display of weakness. Not when he still stares at me with the same unerring confidence in his eyes. When our mirth dies down, or anything can be said further, before I change my mind, I step away from them. Giving Zach's shoulder a quick few pats, mumbling a lame excuse about taking another short nap under my breath, altogether burying the stray thought that flashes fleetingly in my head. Zach has seen me at my lowest plenty of times. Why does all of it matter now? ...